Alright, we got ourselves the Actman Ultra HD 4K touchscreen waterproof up to 30 meters or 98 feet deep action camera! I'm a little bit crazy for action cameras recently, and the kids love them, I love them. We put them on our bikes, we put them on our foreheads, we use them all over the place. This one in particular from Actman, 16 megapixels, wide angle lens, Wi-Fi, and a 2-inch screen that I hear is a touchscreen. So, let's get right to the heart of the matter. I'm going to open this sucker up. Here's your unboxing. That was quick. And now, when you open the box, here's what you're going to find. So, when you first open the box, here's how it comes. You've got the 4K action camera user manual. That should be pretty self-explanatory. I can go through that in just a minute. Looks like it's in a few different languages. There's a special Actman brochure or thanks for buying, encouraging you to leave your feedback for them. And then in the box itself, here is the camera. Now this is awfully reminiscent of our other friend, the GoPro, but you know, to each their own. So this little guy, we'll get to that. That's the camera. Comes with this is the waterproof carrying case, of course. There's no way water can get in there. The buttons are supposed to be waterproof, etc. down to, what did they say, 98 feet or something, so that's pretty good. It comes with 2 batteries, so that's good. Now they say you can record up to 90 minutes with each battery, so that's not too bad. I'm going to look into it and see if I can buy more batteries, because I always like to have a few spares. These are a 900 milliamp and 3.33 watt hour, 3.7 volt battery. So there you go. There's going to be some more goodies in here. We don't need that. And here's, oh, this is a watch. I'm sure this is for your wrist. You can put it on your wrist, and there's a picture and video button there. So that'll work either via probably Bluetooth to the camera. That's a cool feature, actually. I'll take it. Don't need the box anymore. We're finished with that. So 2 batteries, the remote control on the watch, the camera, and then there's a little box of goodies here. Let's get into that and see what we've got. So here's everything that was in the box as far as camera goodies go. Let me get all this stuff out of the plastic and we'll continue. And voila, we've got everything out of the plastic as it came in the box. So here we go. We've got 2 batteries at the top. We'll start up there, and then we've got an alternate back that you can change. You can change this out. So this is the waterproof version, and this is the not so waterproof version. You can see those 2 squares or rectangles there. Those are open slots, and so the design of that is such that it will let some audio noise in. This is sealed, of course, so of course there won't be a lot of audio capabilities with this camera on. It is waterproof, and remember, when you put this on, it is no longer waterproof. So there's a new back for you. Here is a new mounting system, a different mounting system, I should say. It looks like this has a couple of features on it that are unique. There's a 1/4 inch 20 pitch thread on both the top and the bottom that will allow you to put that on a tripod or vice versa. There's also a slot in the back, and I'll have to read the manual on that because I'm not quite sure, but I guess you could slide something in there like a protective cover or something along those lines. Anyway, that's what that's for. Here's a hard, maybe a helmet mount or a slightly curved surface mount. This has a slight curve to it there. They also include 2 extra double-sided sticky tape things, so that's good. So that's that. And then there are a plethora of mounting options for mounting to handlebars or round objects. This one slides into this, so there's a tripod thread as well as a flat mount. And this simply slides in, I believe, this way. Once you've got that mounted, then this will slide in like that, and then of course you will mount your camera to that top part. And then to dismount it, you just squeeze that together without pinching your fingers and slide it out like that. It's hard to do if this isn't mounted. The camera comes with its own mount, with one of the mounts included on there, and that just simply slides in one way or the other to this, like that, and it's mounted. This is a simple system that, wow, whoever cranked that down had really strong hands. I'm going to have to grab a tool. Stand by. So the way this came out of the box, this was quite tight on there. I'm going to use a tool, and hopefully I don't, there, just had to break it free there. That was quite tight right out of the box. But anyway, once it's freed up, then that comes off like this, and you are free to mount to this any which way you desire. There's a lot of different options. So I really like that about this set. There's the handlebar mount. You could do that. If you need it turned 90 degrees, that's what the function of this thing is you can put that on there and then this on there. I mean, there's so many different options. I need to take the bolt out of there, obviously, but so that's that. As far as other attachments go, here is a belt attachment. So that will go into a belt buckle, and then you have a clip there, which you could use. It also comes with a little cleaning cloth. That's great. There's a safety cable here, and the idea behind this is that you somehow attach it to your camera so that you don't lose your camera. If somehow the mount becomes detached, you don't want to lose your camera bouncing down the road. There's also a bunch of zip ties, which you can get your own, but they include 4 of them. That's nice. And a USB plug. So it's a micro USB by a regular port, and that presumably is for A, charging your camera, and B, downloading imagery. So you can either take the chip out and take the SD card out rather and put it into a SD card reader such as this and then plug that into your computer, or you can plug directly into the computer, into the camera, and then the other end into the computer to download your photos. So that's good. There's a couple of straps that are just a simple strap that presumably will be for your wrist or something like that. And then there's also a couple of small Velcro straps. So they're going to have some ways to use these in the manual. Have a gander at the manual. I certainly will. Here's a Velcro wrist strap. So they have included with this a lot of options for mounting it, and that's what action cameras are all about. Using them in a variety of different ways, getting cool shots from different angles. Pull open the camera itself and have a quick look. So it's a nice looking camera, and don't forget it comes with a film on the lens, so you definitely want to take that film and peel it off. That's just a protective coating that you do not need after it arrives. There's also one on the back. I'm going to leave the back one on just to protect that back face. I'll see if I can still use the touchscreen through that. They have a little touchscreen symbol there. So let's get right to it and see if we can put a battery into it. Well, that opens quite easily. Some of these do not. And let's fire a battery in. So it looks like the battery, there's those there, and then there's gold things down in there, if you can see. Yeah, there you go. So that just slides in. Doesn't slide in. Am I doing something wrong? So we've encountered our first problem here. This battery doesn't fit in the player. Okay, so I've come across a little problem here. The first battery that I tried goes in quite well. That's not an issue, and there's a little tab for pulling it back out. That's wonderful. The second battery, however, when oriented the correct way, so as to put it in, it does not fit in the battery port. So yes, that's a problem. Upon closer inspection, focus, you can see that, or hear that, this is not completely closed. Either the cardboard is not put on correctly or the plastic. Anyway, I'm going to try and fix it here quickly so that I don't have to worry about sending this back. But this is an issue that we have had from time to time with quality control. So there you can see that the case needs to be set down in like that before this is pushed over, and I think it pops out too readily. So that has to be squeezed together like that, and now I'm sure it'll just slide right in like so. So it does work. That's just a little quality control issue that perhaps we could overlook, but it is an issue nonetheless. Let me try again. Let's just hold that down for a second. There it is. So you have to hold it down for maybe 2 seconds. Actman V3. So this is a version 3 apparently. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see what's going on with this. Select mode of the camera. So they're going to walk you through a welcome thing here. I'll just click through the welcome screens. Oh, so it's touchscreen. They want you to use the touchscreen. Click to enter settings. Click to enter the album. So if you want to play your videos, swipe down to open a quick menu. Oh, this is good. Slide around to switch shooting mode. So you can switch shooting modes by sliding left and right. All good information. Press shutter button to start shooting. So that's up top here. We know that. That's a standard feature. And for better capture the 4K experience, please make sure use good quality SD microchip. So we know that if you're using, you want to use a fairly fast SD card with these. Anything over, I think it's class 10 is what we're looking for, but that's good information. And scan the QR code to download the camera app. There will be other ways of downloading the camera app, so I'm not going to do that now. And that is it. Enjoy your 4K sports camera. So right off, I'm fairly impressed with this little guy. It's touchscreen, obviously, and there it's, boom, we're working. The battery came with about 2/3 battery there. It comes in 2.7K at 30 frames a second mode. So we can go right into the menu, and fairly straightforward. I'm not even going to pretend that I know what I'm doing in there because I haven't read the manual. So I'm going to take a short break, zoop, and go through the manual so that I can inform you, the viewer, on how to use this thing without pretending like I know what I'm doing. So I'll be back in a flash after reading the manual. Okay, I've had a little time to play with this thing, so let's walk through a few of the settings. I'll just turn it on for you here. You can see it's coming on with the blue light. Actman. So right off the top, I don't have an SD card in it at this point, but right off the top, let's zoom in just a little bit so you can see there. It comes up in 1080 60 frames, and that's generally what I've been shooting in with this. So we'll go through, we'll find the menu. There's nothing to see there. So right off the top, and I'm going to use the OK button on top and then the up down buttons over here for controlling this thing, and hopefully keep it in the middle of the camera so you can see it. So video resolution is the first topic. It has 4K at 30 frames, 2.7K at 30 frames, 1080 at 60, and that's most often what I shoot in. And then 1080 at 30 frames, 720 at 120 frames per second, and that's also their slow motion mode. 720 at 60, 720 at 30, and then back to 4K. So I shoot in 1080 at 60 usually with this thing, and it works fairly well. Recording sound is either on or off. Video, lapse video, that's time lapse. Close, the English is a bit off there. Actually what that means is off. So time lapse in 0.5 seconds, 1, 2, 5, 10, 30, or 60-second intervals. So I've got that turned off right now, close or off. Loop, that's video loop time, so it can loop in 2 minute, 3 minute, 6 minute, or sorry, 5 minutes, 2, 3, or 5 minute loops. I've got that off as well because I want to, of course, continuous video. Slow motion, and that's either 1080 at 60 or 720 at 120 frames per second. So next along we have field of view. So they have 170, 140, 110, 70 degrees. So I shoot a lot in 140, and it seems to get rid of some of that distortion that's famous for these little action cameras. I think all we're doing though is cropping the sensor ultimately. So and we're back to video resolution. So next on the list we have exposure. So this is your exposure settings. It goes plus 3 to -3, it looks like. So I keep that right in the middle, and that allows me to do all of my exposure settings in post editing. White balance, I like to set that to something rather than leaving it on auto, because that way it doesn't fluctuate back and forth. But it has sunny, cloudy, incandescent, and fluorescent are your settings. So I leave it on sunny. That's what we were most recently shooting in, I guess. Image rotation, that'll just flip your image upside down if you wanted to mount the camera upside down on a vehicle or something. Driving mode, when it powers up via the USB, the camera automatically turns on and starts recording, and that would be useful as a dash cam. Frequency, that shouldn't be on auto. That should be here in North America 60 Hertz. Other parts of the world it's 50 Hertz. So that's the lighting, vibration of the lighting frequency. LED indicator, and that's the little LED indicator here telling you that it's recording. Now this is one of the things, oops, I've pushed something. This is one of the things that I would like to see better. When you hit record on this, there's no audio cue to let you know that you started recording, which would be nice. Anyway, it has an LED indicator. We've got that on. Auto screensaver, I've got that off right now. So that's just this LED screen. When you start recording, it'll go off after 10, 20, 30 seconds. I leave that off because I want to see what I'm recording all the time. Auto shutdown, after 3 minutes of inactivity, the camera will just shut down completely. That's either 1, 3, or 5 minutes. So I've got that on 3 minutes. And time watermark, that'll just be a overlaid timestamp in the bottom corner. And I've gone into something again. Oh, time. Oh, so it's the level that it's printed at. So I've got it off for now. And boot guide, that's the it'll go through the menus and show you various parts of the camera. Languages, we can quickly run through the languages, but there's a lot of them. I'm going to stick with English for now. Date and time, you can set the date and time there, and then format your SD card is where you do that, and then reset to factory settings is what this means. And then the firmware version. The firmware version of this particular one is Model V3, so I'm presuming there'll be future upgrades coming, and that's it for that. So there you go. Let's take this thing outside and get some footage from it, and you can have a look and see for yourself what kind of footage this thing will take.